Hello and welcome to episode 26 of Rabbit Hole Reviews. This is the first review of the new year. Happy 2023. So, today we're going to take a quick look at a CZ P-07 subcompact 9mm. Now, this pistol is very analogous to a Glock 19 in terms of its capacity and its size. Now, there's a few differences, obviously, that you can see. Aesthetically, it looks different. I think it looks better, in my humble opinion, than a Glock 19. Just look at this squared off trigger guard. Does that not scream vintage SIG P225? I know it does to me. I wish I had my SIG 225. I sold it years ago, and I regret it. And I've been trying to get another one ever since. So this is the little brother to the CZ P-09. I don't have a CZ P-09 here to show you. I sold mine probably, 6-7 years ago. I liked that pistol. It was a little bit big for what it was. Yes, the capacity was excellent. I think it was like 19 rounds plus one. Not a good carry option in my opinion. Too large. Excellent house gun. But needless to say, I got rid of it. It was okay. But this is aesthetically, I think, a little bit overall better package and a little bit more usable package. Yes, it's the same size and roughly the same weight and capacity of a Glock 19. But what you get is, well, you don't have striker fired. So if you're not a striker fired fan and you want hammer fired, well, you have it, right? Here you have this nice skeletonized hammer here, very HK-esque, large extractor. This gun is all about business, right? You even have, look, you have a lanyard loop down here, indicative of its military contracts and military dual purpose, military and police. Just a great handgun, in my opinion. Now, my view has been based on the 100 rounds that I fired today. This is the first 100 rounds. I took it out just a few hours ago, and just to see where we're at. Accuracy was very good. I would say excellent. I don't have the test target here to show you. I don't know why I didn't bring it. But once you got your point of impact, point of aim sorted out within the first couple of rounds, pretty much all of the rounds were in the X ring or the 9 ring in a magazine. So about the overall circumference of my palm, right? So if we superimpose my palm at 21 feet, all 15 rounds are inside my palm. Acceptable accuracy. Now, granted, that's just standing there and shooting away at a stationary target. I get it. Load I used today was Norma 115 grain, nothing fancy there. No match loads, no self-defense loads. I'm way too cheap to run self-defense ammo through my guns for testing. I do occasionally, obviously if I plan to carry this gun, I will run whatever carry load I choose to carry with it just to see how it shoots and its point of impact. But that wasn't the case today. So let's take a quick look at this, some of the features, and then we'll dig into the box that I have off camera and show you some of the accessories you get with it. So this pistol, yes, it's not striker fired, it's hammer fired as we can all see. But what makes it special aside from being hammer fired? Well, the P-07 weapon is clear. The P-07 has what's called an Omega trigger. So what the Omega trigger gives you the option of is you can convert this from decock, which is the current mode of operation here. So as you see, if I want to, let's say I've chambered a round, or correction, I've loaded a magazine into the weapon and I want to chamber a round. And now let's assume hypothetically that there's a round in the chamber and I want to make this weapon safe. I would decock, right? Nothing revolutionary there, but what the Omega trigger allows you to do, and it includes the accompanying parts to do so, is convert this from decock, as you see here, to, well, I can't show you because I haven't converted it, to a cock and lock. So it would be very CZ75-like in that I can push up on this lever and carry a cock and lock like a 1911 or a Browning high power or a CZ75 or any number of guns that are double action, single action with a cock and lock option. So, and it includes the parts to make that switch. So I don't have any plans on converting this. I am totally fine with the decock option. If I were to carry this gun, which, I mean, my current carry gun's a Glock 43X. So overall, same mag capacity as this, with the dreaded shield arms magazines that some people like to complain about, which I'll get into a test on that myself to see how those work. I have those now. Anyway, not to go too off into the weeds. This just gives you a few more features that, say, a Glock 19 doesn't have, right? So if you want to have that double strike capability, let's say you have a round misfire, right? Okay, well, that's fine. Now, in a striker fire, you're going to have to rack that slide and eject a round. But with a double action, you have that double strike capability. Let's say the round isn't fired. You can keep doing this until your heart's content or you figured out that the round's not going to go off. Very easy to see if you're going to have a problem there, whereas, obviously with a Glock, you're going to have to pull that slide back, eject the round, chamber a new round, and hope for the best. So that's probably a little bit of my bias showing through. I prefer hammer-fired pistols over striker-fired handguns. Yes, I have many striker-fired handguns, lots of Glocks. And in fact, I was either going to get this or the CZ P10C, and I decided the P-07 was one of those bucket list guns I wanted to check off my list. I was going to get one in OD green, but this one ended up being less expensive. I bought it last minute at a gun show, and so here we are. So if you look, the sights, if we hadn't already noticed, were much better than your stock Glock sights. Not only are they 3-dot and they're better, but they're adjustable and they're dovetailed nicely, so you can swap these out for whatever sights you so choose. I don't know if I'm going to swap these out for night sights, honestly. I'm probably just going to leave it stock because this is not a bedside gun for me, nor is it a carry gun. If I decide to make it one of those, I will put night sights on it. I think that's pretty much a must for a pistol in either one of those roles, whether it be carry or bedside. This is really just a range toy for me. And it does well. I'm really happy with the reliability, accuracy, all that. I'm not really saying anything that any number of gun tubers or gun magazine writers haven't already said. Yes, I have a CZ bias. As you noticed, I've featured a bunch of different CZ reviews on my channel, so you can kind of see what direction I'm going with this review. It's got that typical slide inside the frame design. If you notice, like a CZ75, some people complain about that. They say there's less purchase area on the slide because most of it's riding inside the frame. Yes, that's true, but they gave you front serrations as well. It is what it is, right? So that's a trade-off. If that's not really a thing that you can deal with, then your mileage may vary. It has the Picatinny accessory rail. Like, that's pretty much standard on most guns nowadays. You're probably not going to be able to sell a handgun if it doesn't have something like that. It's got this extra panels up here, stippling for your thumb. I'm guessing it's for your thumb. And it's not fully ambidextrous, so you have don't have ambi mag release, which is fine. I mean, I'm right-handed, so it works out for myself and probably most of you guys. And the decocker is the only other thing that is ambidextrous, right? So if you're on this other side, you can decock it from the right-hand side. No ambi mag release, anything, or slide release, anything like that. But yeah, so let's get this out of frame and let's take a look at the box and see what accessories it comes with. Might have to pull this camera back, or maybe just get out of my own way real quick. So as you see, as it ships, it'll come like this. You get 2 magazines with the pistol. They're not shown, they're off camera. So you're going to get 2 15-round magazines, depending on what state you live in. You're going to get your obligatory cable lock, which no one ever uses. At least I don't use. You're going to get the cleaning brush, which I guess you could use. I mean, I don't. I use bore snakes. But the good stuff is in these other little bags. So you get 2 back straps, which is nice. And that's pretty much par for the course nowadays. I mean, Glock and everybody else, you're getting backstrap options. You're really not going to be competitive if you don't start including backstrap options with polymer guns. And so here we are, right? I generally don't swap out my backstraps. Most of the time, the backstrap that comes from the factory suits me well enough where I don't have to do any swapping out. I think I did swap out the backstrap on my FNX. I think I did swap that one out. But by and large, with the Glock Gen 5s and stuff, I don't bother with any of that stuff, like the Gen 4s. No need. It did come with a snap cap. I won't bother taking this out of the bag, but you've got like a dummy round snap cap with these little green things are interchangeable primers. So that's nice. And this little Allen wrench here is to adjust. It fits the front and rear sights for adjustment, I guess, or to remove. So that's always good. And then here's where the good stuff is. So going back to that Omega trigger that I was talking about, that's one of the big selling points of the P-07. And really any CZ pistol that has the Omega trigger in it, because this is not the only one that has the Omega. They have a CZ75 Omega, they have this P-07 Omega. And if I can get this bag open, maybe I'll just skip the bag part and we'll look at it through the bag. So what this is are replacement controls to, and they're ambi, to make it cock and lock. A little bit different profile, smaller overall. And so there you go. They're going to have instructions in the manual on how to do so. Like I was saying earlier, I have no plans on changing mine out. I just like it stock the way it is. So that's what you're going to get with the pistol. So magazine would be like so. Now the magazines they're a little bit pricier than standard Glock mags, things like that. I think these are like 30 bucks, 35 bucks. I have to go look. Maybe I should do some more research when I do these videos. You can tell I'm amateur, right? So it's 15 rounds. It's got the witness holes, aluminum magazines, high-vis follower. No issues with the magazine. So if you have to pay a little bit more, at least you're getting a decent magazine, right? All right, so let's get this box out of the way because that's boring, right? Off frame. And while I load it up, we'll go over some of the specs real quick. Usually I do it at the beginning of the video, but I forgot, so we're going to go ahead and do it now. And if my scale cooperates. So it's MSRP on this is $549. I guarantee you can find it cheaper on the street. Magazine capacity is 15 plus 1, depending on your state. Magazine type is double stack. Frame is obviously black polymer with stippled grips. Trigger mechanism is the Omega double action, single action. Fixed 3-dot sights, cold hammer forged barrel, barrel length of 3.75 inches, a weight of 27.7 ounces, empty. Overall length is 7.5 inches, the height of 5.3 inches, width of 1.46 inches. Well, now that we got all that out of the way, the safety, they label it on their website as the interchangeable, ambidextrous, decocker, manual safety, safety stop-on hammer, firing pin, block safety. So make of that what you will. That's quite a bunch of information that I just put out there. Nothing that you can't already find on CZ's website. So let's go ahead and convert this to ounces. And, we're going to skip the empty weight because I already weighed it off camera and I came within like 1/10 of an ounce of the posted weight. So the empty weights are accurate. I think it was like 27.6 ounces versus 7, something like that. But what I do have is a loaded magazine of 147 grain Spear gold dots. I've had these for a while. They've been sitting in my stash. So I went ahead and broke this box out. And anyway, so that's what we're looking at. So if I were to carry this gun, this is probably a round I would carry. Good old Spear gold dot, 147 grain. It's going to get the job done. So let's go ahead and insert the magazine into the pistol and see what your street weight is going to be if you carry this. And it always shuts off. Let me reposition this a little bit. I know I've said this before, but I think in my upcoming videos, you're probably going to see a different scale. I have 2 different scales and none of them are worth a damn. All right, so we're going to go with 34.3 ounces. We're going to round that up. So as to be expected. Now you're going to have some benefit because it's polymer. Imagine if this were aluminum alloy or steel, how much extra weight you'd have, right? There you go, 34.3 ounces with 15 rounds of 147 grain Spear gold dot. If you were to do like I would do and put 15 rounds plus 1, Now you're looking at 34.79 ounces max capacity for an already pretty much the heaviest bullet you could probably carry on the street for defense. Anyway, so let's get this scale out of here because no one wants to see that. Would I buy this pistol? Yes, I would. Obviously, I did, right? I think this is really something for a person who, you could buy a Glock 19, right, and be boring, like I have done. I have 2 Glock 19s, and I will admit that I can appreciate boring just like everybody else. Glock 19s are proven; they're excellent pistols. They sell millions of them for a reason, and believe the hype because they have a track record. This is really just a pistol for someone who wants something different. You want to have the Omega trigger option. You want to have hammer fired versus striker fired. You get the CZ name, obviously, and the reliability and the quality that comes with it. I think this is every bit as good as a Glock 19. Fire away in the comments if you agree or disagree. The best option is to buy both, which is what I've done. I think you're going to be very happy with this. Going into 2023, I think gun prices are actually going to more flatten out a little bit more and maybe even take a dip. As long as there's no impending legislation and continuous threats, I think you're going to see some deals out here, especially with the economy being the way it is. I think some people are going to start liquidating some inventory, whether that be wholesalers and retailers all the way down to secondary market, people looking to unload stuff. So scour your pawn shops, scour your gun shops, the used gun section, and you might be able to pick up one pretty cheap. Look at even, dare I say, auction sites and see if you can find one there. I strongly recommend this pistol, and not just because I bought it. So that has been my review in roughly 17 minutes of the CZ P-07 9mm subcompact.